G'day, I'm Squish and welcome to my channel where I share all my delicious squishy yarn and crochet related goodness with you. Welcome and thank you to my new and returning subscribers. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. I do love reading all your comments, but lately I've had a couple of quite nasty ones which I've had to remove and block from my channel, which is quite sad actually. And as much as I encourage your comments, I do ask that you leave respectful ones. I was hoping I didn't have to say that, but there you have it. Enough dreariness, let's get into the video. Today, as you can tell by the title, it's all about finished objects. Now I've had a lot of comments about this one, so I'll show it first. Can you guess what it is? It's my unicorn blanket. It has turned out brilliant, don't you think? I used number 4 worsted weight yarns and a 6mm hook. This was a cowl that was run by Angela, who is the crazy poppy lady, and there is also a tutorial and a stitch count if you prefer to follow along. It certainly helped me. It is the perfect baby size. And this is my second favourite make of the year. Look at the pretty border. I just did a simple block stitch border. I haven't blocked it yet, but when I do, it's going to look fantastic. So I'm really happy with this. It's a little bit big to show here, but I love it. Okay. Do you remember this item? I know it's a bit hard to see, but I'm going to put some pictures in for you. It's what originally was my party cardie, but it's now more like a campfire hexie cardie, so that's what I'm going to call it. Anywho, it's finally finished because I stitched on the pockets and I re-sewed the buttons, and I absolutely love it now. It's very warm and cozy, but the weather's warming up here now. Next month is summer, so it's been in the closet for a few weeks, but it'll come out again when it gets cold. Do you recall that when I spoke about my spiral granny blanket in my last whips and stitches video, whether or not I should continue with it or frog it? Well, I had so many lovely comments saying that I should finish it, so that's what I did. Again, it's a little bit hard to see. What do you think? It's pretty, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, and it certainly needs blocking. For this I used a 4.5mm hook, and I think that added to the lost crojo I was feeling, because I prefer thicker yarn and larger hooks. So for me it felt like this particular project was taking forever just to get one round done at this small stage, baby blanket size. So never again. Well, I'm saying that for now. Anyway, this was the Ice Yarns Morella Rainbow and just our standard Australian DK white acrylic, and I think it's quite pretty with the sparkles in the morella there. Then of course I was inspired by Mel at Colours of the Outback's preemie hats that she made, so I made these in all different sizes. So sad to think that these will fit a little baby's head. So I'd like to send them off to the Miracle Babies Foundation, which is the charity that Mel crocheted her beanies for, and I hope that they bring comfort to the parents that need them. So then I was trying some Tunisian crochet, and I was playing around with some stitches, just using the standard Tunisian simple stitch, and what I did was made a hook holder for my Tunisian hooks. Pretty nifty, hey? Well, I just cast on as long as the hooks or so, and off I went. I seamed it together and made the flap, then stitched on a button. So easy. And if you recognise the yarn, that's because, well, you do, because I've used it before. It is that horrible Cake's Air and just a strand of 8-ply DK soft sparkly yarn, and it's turned out pretty good. It's really softened it up too. Well, because it was a chunky fabric, some of these smaller hook ends, tips, were coming through the bottom here, through these holes. So I didn't want to line this particular project because I just thought, well, that's just a headache in itself because it's so thin. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? I've got to put something in the bottom to stop the hooks coming through. So I was talking to a girlfriend, and she suggested that I cut off the toe of an old sock and stitch it inside. So of course that's what I did, and I can't show you deep down inside the hook case with what it looks like, but I'm going to put a picture in so you can see what I've done. And I'm not the greatest hand sewer, and it's not about the hand sewing, it's just about the easy fix for my problem. And nobody's going to see it anyway. You can't even see it on the outside where I've stitched, so that was a great idea. Problem solved. I was pretty impressed with this because this was my first, I guess, design pattern. Well, not that I wrote anything down, but I just sort of freeballed it and came up with a project, with a finished object. So I'm pretty chuffed actually, even if I do say so myself. Now, the other Tunisian item I was making, if you recall, was the circle with the coloured wedges, and I've now made it into a square, and I think it looks pretty good. Perhaps a row of the purple around the edge just to sort of give it some pop and a bit of finality, so it's not so, you know, yellow. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, officially it's a finished project. So then this square will go with my other squares, and those pile of squares will be stitched together to make a blanket to go off to Kogo. So then I got the best delivery I've had in a long time, well, apart from Happy Mail of course, and it was my Addy Express King. It's been on back order for 2 months and it finally came in, so super excited. And you can guess what that means. Yep, hats. Hats of all sizes, hats with scraps. These ones are reversible, one colour. They're all double layer. Scraps, double layer. They're all reversible beanies except for this one, because this was a chunkier yarn. This was actually a number 5 chunky yarn. It's the Ice Yarns lacquer that I revealed in my part 1 of my 19 kilo unboxing. So I just did a rolled brim for that one for a guy. Love it, so easy to do. It takes 20 minutes to knit it, so probably 30 minutes to do, you know, the whole hat, although this one was a bit quicker because it's only one side. So these are all the labels from the scraps that I had to make the hats. As you can see, mostly Ice Yarns, but I have saved the best till last. Now check this out. Do you remember in my Happy Mail I received this ball of yarn from one of the giveaways that I had won? Anyway, I decided I wanted to use it as a hat because it just felt so nice, and here it is. So I made a reversible hat. I used the whole ball, the whole 100 grams. It's super soft, super squishy. It's really thick and cozy, and I'd really like to get some more of this yarn because it's just so good, and the Addy absolutely loved it. No problems at all. So double bonus. And so what I thought I'd do was I'd give this hat to my son, because he's been wearing beanies a lot lately, and I think it's because his hair's getting so long, he just wants it out of his face. So beanies are just the go for him. Even like today is like, you know, 27 degrees Celsius. It's pretty warm. I've got the air conditioner going, and he'll still wear a beanie. Like, he's a crazy kid, but I love him. So anyway, I thought he would love this. It's Guy's colours, you know, and look at the striping that it made. I thought it would make this really pretty pattern, and it did. So I'm really stoked. I love this. I reckon this is my favourite hat that I have made on the Addy. So yay for Premier Yarn. I'll be looking at getting some more of this. So while the Addy was out, I thought I would make, well, it was originally going to be some sort of funky kind of beanie for my son because he wanted this pink and a certain style, and I'm like, you know what, now that I look at it again, I don't even know if I can do that. It's not just a simple basic beanie. It was sort of like a square shape, and then it had like embroidery or something across there he wanted me to do, and I just thought, are you kidding me? I'm only new at this sort of stuff. I don't think I can do that just yet. So anyway, scrap that, and so the long piece then became a cowl, which, I don't know, I just sort of thought, well, what can I do with this long piece? It's too short to be a scarf, but it's too big to be a hat. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's okay for a cowl. So instead of putting, you know, the two ends together like you do to make a circle, I just thought, well, I'll just put the two ends together for something a little bit different. So it sits around the neck like that. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I thought, well, hey, I've still got some more of that yarn left, which is the Ice Yarn's Favourite, which is a number 4, and the Addy likes it, but it doesn't like it with tension so much. So anyway, I've learned that. So I'll know to do that different next time. But still, I thought, okay, well, I'll do a matching beanie, because Judy at Which Piece Craft was doing hashtag Pink October AU for the month of October to raise awareness for breast cancer for both men and women. And it was also to do with the McGrath Foundation and raising money for them, because one of our Aussie cricketers, his wife Jane, was diagnosed and died of breast cancer quite suddenly some years ago. So yes, I think the cricketers now do like a pink test. So anyway, that's what that's all about. So that's where this came into play. So then I thought, well, is the cowl a little too plain? Perhaps it should have buttons. So I found a couple of buttons, and these are going to be non-functional buttons obviously, but I thought maybe something like that, or up there. Oh gosh, I don't know. Anyway, I thought, what do you think, guys? With buttons or without buttons? With, without. You tell me in the comment section below. I can't decide. I want to send this off to the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Centre or Healing Centre in Melbourne. Anyway, I hope they're appreciated. My last finished objects for this month is my 10-inch granny squares. I'm part of an Aussie granny swap group, and these are for this month's November swap. For me, I try to keep a theme each month, whether that's a colour, a yarn, a pattern, you get the picture. Well, this month it's this flower. The pattern was just this little square here with the green that looks a bit like leaves, which is quite pretty in itself. I added the cream. I did a accent border using US treble crochets, and then back to US double crochets for the final border. So I think they look quite pretty. And I was looking at these two and I thought, you know what, you could probably pop the petals up a little bit too, to give it a little bit of height or a little bit of texture as well, if you see what I mean. I think there's going to be 4 of us in the group, but I don't make one of these for myself to keep. I just make 3 and send them off. And then of course the ladies that I'm in the group with, they'll send me 1 each of their squares, so I'll end up with 3 squares at the end of the month. The theme is, as I said, this flower. So this is my first square. I did the green accent. Then my second square was obviously with the yellow accent. And I'm guessing you can guess what the last one's going to be. Tricked ya. But yes, it is going to be the pink accent. I just haven't finished it yet. So it's officially a finished object because, you know, well, this is finished. Does that Does that count? But no, seriously, I'm going to do the pink accent, another row of cream, and then hey, it's like completely finished object. So I think they've turned out quite well. They're very pretty, I think. I think the ladies are going to like them. And that's pretty much what's been happening here in my little hook nook here in Southeast Australia for the month of October 2020. I would love to know what you're working on in your little hook nook. So share that in the comment section below, as well as the whole yes no button thing for my pink cowl, because your ideas might just inspire somebody else. In these times in the world right now, we all just need to have a little bit more happiness and a little bit more understanding, compassion and kindness towards each other. That's what I try to do with the things, the objects, the yarn, everything that I do on my channel, is to not so much educate, because I'm learning as I'm going to, but it's more to inspire people to give something a go, to try something new. You never know what you can do until you try. Because I mean, with this case, I mean, I never thought I could make something from nothing. No pattern, no design, no pre-thoughts. I just cast on and stitched away. Yeah, okay, it's simple. I know it's simple. But for me, it was something that I created and it brings me joy. So why wouldn't I want to share that? And that's what I hope to bring to you in your lives. Just a little bit of joy. If you can smile during my videos, hey, my job's done. It's all worth it. I hope I give you a laugh. I hope I can make you smile. I hope you enjoy what you watch. That's all I can ask. So that's why I really appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos, to respond and comment on my videos. I really get joy out of seeing other people get joy. It's just purely for my enjoyment, hopefully your enjoyment. You know, we can learn and create and inspire together. That's the bottom line. Share, connect, kindness. It's as simple as that. Anyhow, enough waffling on from me. The links for everything I've made in this video that I've shown you today is down in the description box below. So check out those tutorials and patterns if that's anything there that you wish to try. And once again, thank you for watching and for your ongoing support, your kind comments, as I said, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. So until then, happy hooking, stay safe, and hooroo!